Hi, we are live. We're live. I've never done it myself. I just controlled it. Old Billy Tubes gave me the controls here. Welcome to McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk Monday, March 30th. I am obviously being joined by the co-host of this show who gets zero credit in any of the Big J journalistic media world, who refuse to say his name whenever they're quoting Aaron Rodgers from this show, co-host AJ Hawk. Attaboy, AJ! Boy, AJ. And
good to be here, Pat. Don't worry about it. Don't get caught up in that stuff. You're doing great work.
Well, where you were quoted at is a place called ESPN. And if you watch ESPN, the person that's sitting in between us on YouTube right now is the man that's a face of ESPN right now. He's on every single show that they have. I even saw him reporting on Outside the Lines. Ladies and gentlemen, former quarterback in the NFL, an incredible ESPN personality from the University of Connecticut, Mr. Daniel Orlovsky.
Hey!
Oh, he can't hear us.
Thank you, Mr. McAfee.
Dan, can you hear us or not?
I just barely hear you. Now I see you two lads.
Okay, good. I just want to let you know everybody just went crazy for your introduction.
No surprise. No surprise.
Exactly. Let's get right into it here, Dan. Did you think that Tom Brady was going to go to Tampa Bay, and why is nobody signing Cam Newton as a starter right now?
All right, so when initially I was sitting on the get-up desk and Jeff Darlington or someone mentioned,
oh no,
I immediately said, no shot, doesn't fit the team. And Darlington gave me a look.
It's over. Oh man.
He's trying to tell me something. So I started thinking about it more, watching more tapes, seeing how it would fit, whatnot. I was like, dude, no brainer, Brady's going to Tampa Bay. So initially I was like, nah, it doesn't fit. But after that, I started thinking about it more, realized it was a good fit. So for about a good 3-week stretch, I did think that Tom Brady was going to go to Tampa Bay.
Oh, so you
and then the second
you knew before everybody else. You're saying
that was one of the teams I thought was going to go to, and as the days got closer, I was like, Tampa Bay is going to be the team.
Okay, good stuff.
I did not know. Do I think Cam Newton's going to get signed? I don't think he'll get signed before the draft. I just think that's the reality right now. Is there's not a lot of seats, and I think there's this truth that the NFL, and you guys know this, the NFL tells you what they think of you. You don't tell the NFL. And so the NFL right now is telling Cam, like, right now, we don't view you as a starting quarterback. I don't agree with that. And I'm sure Cam doesn't, but I think that's what the NFL is telling him.
Dan, but what if this was a non-coronavirus offseason, would Cam already be with another team?
Bingo.
I think so, because then – but here's my thing, because that's the convenient, or I think that's the normal question, but, like, he's gotten a physical from a doctor in Atlanta. You guys know doctors. Doctors know doctors who know doctors. You mean to tell me that if a team really wanted to sign Cam Newton, that they would not have their doctor reach out to their to that doctor who gave him the physical and be like, hey, where's it stand? What was the exam like? Where were the medical records? And so I think the coronavirus, yes, plays its part, but if a team really wanted him, I would think that they would go jump through some hoops for it.
I have a question. You and I both know that some of these high-end personnel people are superstitious. They're conspiracy theorists. I remember whenever the Colts, my first couple years in the Colts, there was a thought that Bill Polian thought the plane that was flying over the practice field was the New England Patriots. There was always these types of considerations. Do you not think maybe, like, let's say the Chargers, maybe their doctors, like, we can't trust what that Atlanta doctor's saying because we don't know who that Atlanta doctor knows, and they're just worried that until they get their hands on Cam Newton, they don't know if he's going to be healthy enough, both mentally or physically, to go through the season and be their franchise as they move into a new stadium? You don't think that's a potential?
I mean, sure, could it be? Yeah, you could live in that conspiracy world, but don't doctors have some type of, like, patient doctor agreement where they tell the truth and they don't misguide other people? Like, isn't there, like, some type of medical integrity or doctoral integrity that you share your findings? Are they doctoring up the medical exam? I don't know. Again, I think that Cam is one of the 45 best people at his position at worst. But I think the reality is this: there's teams that have open They have not chosen to sign Cam.
45, you said? He's in the top 45?
That's what I'm saying. At worst, he's in the top 45, right? My point is,
right.
You can't tell me that he's not worthy of a starting quarterback job or a high-end backup job. That's my point. Is I think he is, but for some reason, teams in the NFL don't think he is right now.
1, Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
2, Carson Wentz. In your eyes.
More than likely.
Okay, we got 43 more to go. You can name 43 more people better than Cam Newton at quarterback, you think?
Yeah. No, that's my point, Pat. Are you not following the numbers here?
You said
The point.
45 is such a large number to say the better. You know what I mean? Like, that's such a massively
Exactly. That's my point. Is there's 32 starting jobs and say another 13 to however many backup jobs that are like considered decent backup quarterbacks. And my point is, I think Cam is at worst one of the top 45. So, but what's holding up the NFL? And that's that's the point.
Dan, do these videos that Cam Newton puts out of him working out and throwing on the field, do they change your view at all on what Cam's going to look like next year? Because I know a guy like Pat gets sucked right in. Cam puts one video out of him in a weight room looking jacked, and Pat says, "Uh-oh, MVP next year for this guy."
Yeah, no, I don't. Me watching Cam Newton lift weights doesn't do anything for me. I expect that from, but watching him move around and throw the football does. Dude, last week I said no-brainer move. Los Angeles Chargers, go sign Cam Newton. Like, this is no-brainer, and I said that makes them a playoff caliber football team if they did it. And then I had gotten hit up by people saying the Chargers aren't going to sign Cam. They don't want him. And so it doesn't make sense to me. I can't share those people, but like
according to my sources, it
doesn't make sense to me. I look at the Chargers and go, wait, top 5 defense, superstars at wide receiver, really good tight end, really good running back, 2 new offensive linemen. You're a good quarterback play from like being a playoff team. 2 years ago, they were 12-4. So it's a no-brainer to me, but I must be missing something on Cam Newton.
Jay Erickson in the YouTube comment section says, there are 45 better paintings this dude should hang in his house. I'm just telling you what Jay Erickson said about the back of your painting there, Dan. Jay Erickson in the YouTube comments. There was no.
Hey, Jay Erickson.
Oh no!
The painting was a gift, Todd. First of all. Second of all, if you send me your live action shots of you playing in the NFL, I'll see if my buddy can dial up one.
Bury him! Body bag! Get the body bag, Orlovsky! Oh my God! So now that we have it established that he's in the top 15 quarterbacks in the world, I think we've all established that. Clyde Christensen, incredible quarterback coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now. I think he was potentially an instrumental part of Tom Brady ending up with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Do you think I'm right or do you think I'm wrong?
Well, tell me why you think that.
I think Peyton Manning and Tom Brady were golfing in Jim Nance's backyard for Peyton's places. Okay? Peyton and Manning, whenever they were off camera, they were having conversations. One of Peyton Manning's favorite coaches of all time is Clyde Christensen. Clyde Christensen, currently down with Bruce Arians, who's probably another one of Peyton Manning's favorite coaches of all time. I think Clyde Christensen's brain and friendship with Peyton Manning was a potential swing factor in Tom Brady saying, I want to go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That's a
Oh, it's good. I know.
Great point and great insight and kind of down into the deeps, right? You know, like, first of all, that clip of them in Nance, great. In Nance's backyard. I'm actually having the same hole put into my backyard. And then
can I get in your hole?
I think that there was a lot of reasons why Tampa Bay, as you started thinking about it, made a lot of sense for Brady. And I've had Clyde. Clyde's amazing. And I'm excited for Brady to go down there. I think that you going down the rabbit hole makes sense.
Dan, okay, so supposedly Tom Brady, I'm sure if the Patriots would have come to the table and given him the kind of contract that he felt like he deserved, it looks like he would have gone back. But then he wants to go, okay, so let's say Patriots are out of it. Did he want to go to San Francisco? Did he want to go to Tennessee and get turned down?
Your sources?
I think that San Francisco was high on his list. I really do. But the more you hear people talk, the more he wanted to stay as close to New York City as possible. I don't think there was any way he was going back to New England. I've said that, Pat. I think we were sitting together. Like, dude, New England's got the three of us playing receiver for them right now. I don't think, like, I just don't see how he was going to go, you know what, no matter how, give me $25 million, I'll come back. I think that Tom Brady was done with what happened in New England. I think he's very much so in the TB12 method, and Bill Belichick, I don't know if beloves that. And I think that Tom Brady was tired last year of not having talent around him and not having help around him. And he wanted to go to a place that he felt, if I play good, we should be really good on offense, and that wasn't going to be the case in New England.
I don't want to pivot away from Tom Brady here, but you said something that your sources were telling you that the Los Angeles Chargers were not interested in Cam Newton. Do you still feel that? Is that real? Like those messages? So you don't have to tell us, obviously, who sent them to you, unless you would like to, because on this show,
I had two people reach out to me last week after I said that and said they're not interested in Cam. They like Tyrod Taylor. They like his relationship with the head coach. Wow. They're going to draft somebody, and they don't want Cam at the price that he's going to command. And they don't think he's accurate enough. That's what they said.
And these are legit sources, yeah?
Yeah, I think they're people pretty tied in.
So where does he go then, Dan?
For Cam, yeah. That's what I think. Like, I think Cam and Jameis, for that fact, are going to have to sit and wait till after the draft. Because, you know, if you're the Chargers, let's say you're the Chargers and you plan on taking Justin Herbert at 6 or something like that. And let's say somebody trades up in front of you to Miami, or I don't know, and you don't get Justin Herbert. Well, then what do you do? Or if you're Green Bay and you're thinking about drafting someone, or the Saints, I don't know, these teams, you know, like I think that Cam's going to have to wait till after the draft and see how many seats are available.
You know, Cam, so I mean, the Saints last year paid Teddy $8.5 million or something like that to be a backup quarterback.
Yeah, but I don't think they can afford a high end backup.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think a lot of places, like Jameis Winston, for instance, he's going to be a backup quarterback somewhere. Some people are saying like he'd be a great backup quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers because obviously Mason Rudolph isn't really a winner and is Ben potentially going to get hurt again. I feel like that's only a matter of when, not if, and then he'll be back for the good games. I mean, that's just kind of the way Ben Roethlisberger's career goes. There's at least 2 to 7 games a year where he's either going to be hobbling around or game time decision. Jameis Winston seems to fit the mold of a Ben Roethlisberger type quarterback. Do you think that's the place he's going to go? And how much is Jameis and Cam you think they're going to make, like from a real conversation as a backup quarterback, do you think you could potentially make next year?
Yeah, I mean, I think the two biggest questions that both of those cats have got to be willing to answer are, 1, what's your expectation financially? And then 2, what's your expectation role-wise? And maybe a little bit more for Jameis, but like Jameis has got to sit back and be willing to go, okay, and this goes back to my point of the NFL is telling you what they see you as. Jameis needs to realize this does not have to be the end chapter of his story.
No.
And he can get to the same destination. It just his journey will just look different than he thought. And so He needs to sit back and go, all right, maybe he'll take $5 or $6 million, $7 million for a 1-year deal, and he's a backup, and then the chance to reinvent himself. And I don't think it's smart for Jameis to look for a starting job right now, 1, because he gets no offseason. So, like, you want no offseason and then have to be the pressure of having to go win games while you're trying to reinvent your name. So I think and then are those guys willing to be backup quarterbacks? Like, are they willing to be a backup quarterback to start the season? And that's totally foreign to them.
Cam Newton, sorry, AJ, Cam Newton doesn't feel like a backup to me. I don't know, AJ.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's tough.
So you tell me, what do you think the Chargers' plan is moving forward? Go hopefully get somebody in the draft, or do you think they're going to ride with Tyrod Taylor?
Yeah, I think the Chargers will plan on starting Tyrod Taylor, and they will likely draft someone at number 6. They're either taking a quarterback or an offensive tackle. Who drops to them? Like if I'm the Chargers, I'm betting my money and taking Jordan Love out of Utah State with the 6th pick. I think if you look at quarterbacks that are drafted as young players to really healthy defenses, you don't ask those kids to do a lot. And that is a top 5 defense. And they've got, again, 2 superstar wide receivers. Like, the quarterback that goes in and plays there does not have to play bonkers football, and that team will be good. So I think they draft a kid at 6.
Jordan Palmer is training Love. I believe, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, Jordan Palmer's training him. And he said last year, because he had 17 interceptions, I think, or 20, some massive amount of interceptions. I forget what it was. And I said, how can a guy who throws that many interceptions in a terrible football league, in a terrible division in college football, and Jordan Palmer basically said, whenever you're the only NFL prospect in an entire division, you're basically told, like, go make a play. Go do whatever you got to do. So he was very reckless with the ball last year, old Love was. If he goes to the Chargers and they don't ask him to do much, and he's an athletic guy, and Tyrod Taylor can teach him some things, that seems like that's a very beautiful fit.
Yeah, that's what makes a lot of sense to me. I want to touch on interceptions. First of all, Jordan is outstanding at what he does. Second of all, the 17 interceptions, 3 of them were on Hail Marys. 3 of them go off receivers' chest. They bounce off receivers' chests and get intercepted. 2 of them are defensive linemen tipped balls in the air. So that's 8 interceptions right there that you don't look at and go, man, that's reckless quarterback play, or wow, the defense, he's stupid, or this guy doesn't care about the football. And I understand those happen to every quarterback. I get all that. But that's why watching like the tape and trying to evaluate it and see it for what it is super. You could take 8 of those interceptions and go, listen, you're going to have years like that sometimes junk like that happens. And then you're going to have years where it's unrealistic. And so, I think that Jordan Love to me, if he gets into the right place with the right coaches, can be a bona fide stud.
Dan, but what's it look like in Tampa for Tom Brady? I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, they don't know about the fit." How much control does he have over the offense? Does this look like a Bruce Arians offense still?
No, I think this is going to be Byron Leftwich's offense. I really do. I think that we got to look at Bruce is going to be like the overseer of it, but they're going to give Byron the chance to kind of take control. And I think it's important to point out, and you guys know this, like most of us learn football from our playing days and who we play underneath coaching-wise and how we learn in schematics. Byron as a player learned under Hugh Jackson and and Greg Olson and, like these West Coast short pass game coaches. And so that's going to be a big part of what they do. And Byron is going to sit down, really bright guy, great idea. What do you want to do? Like, we'll do what you want to do. And football is football. Like, you got, like, there's only so many plays you can run or type of create. They'll figure out and let Tom take control.
Dan, it was rumored that the Eagles wanted you to be a coach for them. Is that something you're going to do in the future, or are you just going to wait until they give you Monday Night Football, which is inevitable?
I had conversations with some teams this year, and
some teams. Hold on, so more than just the Eagles. So multiple teams offered Dan Orlovsky conversations about potentially becoming a coach for their staff. Can we say that?
Yeah, no, that's been out there. Yes, that's accurate. Yeah, so very flattering. I like what I do now. I love what I do now. I think what I do now is coaching. I coach you up all the time, McAfee, on what really is football and what isn't football. And so you're welcome. You're welcome. So I don't know, man. I like doing what I'm doing now.
So what would it take then, Dan? What does it take a team you've been?
Hey, fuck you, Dan.
Dan just spitting facts. I like it, but Dan, what's it
fuck
going to
you
take?
Too.
What's it going to take to get you from in front of the camera to on the sidelines coaching a team? Is a team going to have to come to you and say, "Hey, man, I know you don't have any head coaching experience, but we want you to be our next head guy"?
No, I think that it's got to be like the organization that's run well. I've been a part as a player that aren't run well, and so I know, kind of how difficult that is top down. So it's got to be run well. It's got to have a track record of good head coaches. They got to have a good quarterback and the freedom to kind of do what I would want to do. So there's not a lot of teams that kind of fit on. Philadelphia is one of those teams that well run, great owner, great head coach, great quarterback. So.
Oh, that's it.
Welcome to McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk, March 30th, 2020. Dan Orlovsky just got done breaking news. he said that multiple teams and he had conversations about coaching.
Yeah.
Then he led into how the Philadelphia Eagles would be a perfect place for him to coach at, which it was reported that they were talking to him for. He eventually said no, and then Zito hung up on him immediately upon that, and now Zito has called him back.
He's off the McDonald's Wi-Fi, I heard.
Welcome back, Dano.
What's up, buddy?
So Zito just hung up on you.
Hey, Zito, what's up with that, dude? Are you mad about the painting as well, bud?
No, I enjoy the painting, but we just had to fix that connection. The connection's a lot better, though.
Yeah, Zito actually took it upon himself to cut you off and hang up on you because the connection was so bad on your side. Because you were saying very important things, but they were coming in through dicey. I think what you were saying, though, is that you wanted to land in the right spot if you were to get into coaching. And then you went into this entire diatribe about how the Philadelphia Eagles would be the perfect place for you. And there was reports that the Philadelphia Eagles had wanted to talk to you about coaching. And I don't know if that's still offers sitting on the table, but do you want to still try and make it to the top of the sports media world? Or is it one of those things where you just want to kind of play it out and see what happens?
No, right now my sole focus is trying to be at the top of the sports media world. And I kind of say it like whatever company I'm at, I'm obviously at ESPN and I love ESPN, but wherever I'm at, wherever it takes me, I want to be one of the most important people at one of their most important platforms and products. And so at ESPN, that is Monday Night Football or Sunday Countdown or Monday Countdown. So that is certainly the goal. But I think the goal, and I think I've shared this with you, like the goal is always moving, man. Like sometimes networks look at things differently. So I look at this as what I do. I look at it as coaching. You know, I'm just coaching different amount of people through a different, kind of avenue. But I love television.
Dan, what's something, let's say you were the head coach of just say the Philadelphia Eagles today, right now, what's the first thing that you implement that you would want to do to put your stamp on a team?
Well, they need to get speed. So, like, personnel-wise, we have to find speed, especially on the outside. And number two, like, I learned this from Sean McVay a little bit and Gary Kubiak a little bit, Jim Caldwell. I think the more that you're upfront and honest with guys without cutting them off and belittling them is better. And, I would have a culture that was built.
Yeah, I agree with you, but that sounds very dumb.
What?
I just cut you off and belittled you. I just wanted to make your example. You know what I mean? I wanted to prove your point was right.
I also think, I think there's a lot of – you can learn a lot from the outside perspective of Bill Belichick is often let guys be themselves and kind of allow them to be at their most comfortable place. And so I would be a big part in that, and big believer in that and pushing that. And so that would – and then, I think it's the basic stuff, accountability and having fun and leadership and goods and bad. Like I would do a lot of the stuff that you hear coaches talk about that never do.
Would you be a hard-ass coach or no? I think you would. Yeah, AJ, what do you think?
I would be at times.
Yeah.
I would be at times. I think that's warranted. It all depends on the guy, obviously. But yeah, I don't think that you can be a soft ass.
Whoa! Jeez! Whoa!
Yeah.
Business. Goodness.
It's Monday. I'm in quarantine for 18 days. So.
Hey, I want to thank you for what you've been doing on Get Up every morning, man. We watch. It's awesome.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks, man.
No problem. I wish you would tell Graziano to kick rocks, but
Graziano, he actually just texted me. Do you want me to reply with that or
kick rocks?
Yeah.
Yeah, he and I had a misunderstanding where he came after me a little
bit.
He's
texting me right now. Literally just came up on my screen.
Hang up on him.
Oh. Weird.
What did he say? Well, you kind of muted off there with your Paw Patrol internet.
He said he hates you.
It's all right. It happens. I mean, a lot of people do. You got to live with it. Who wins the Super Bowl next year? Here's a real question. Whenever ESPN releases their power rankings, do they ask for your input, or is that just somebody behind the scenes and then they just release that and tell you to talk about it?
Power rankings, they've never asked me. I did a quarterback thing today for the NFC. They asked me to do that. Hey, you rank them. But a power ranking team, I've never done that this year now.
Let's hear that quarterback ranking in the NFC. Do you do a top 5 or what you do?
Yeah, I did a top 5. I put Russell Wilson at 1, I think I put Brady at 2, Breeze at 3, Wentz at 4, Rodgers at 5.
That list fucking stinks.
Ty Schmidt is a Packers fan. He is not happy with what you just said right there.
Ty, do you want to have a conversation about it, bud?
Sure, let's do it.
I would suggest that you don't. But if you want to talk about it, we can talk about it.
Hey, Dan, did you watch the iHeartRadio live concert last night?
Outstanding.
It was pretty good. It was like the Illuminati put on a concert, but Russell Wilson was in the middle there. Did you see the balls he was throwing to Future? I mean, they didn't drop. I think he dropped 1 or whatever. It was incredible. Russell Wilson's unbelievable at everything he does.
I had a coach once tell me being a quarterback is like being the president. It's 365, 24/7, and Russell Wilson obviously was thinking that last night.
How about whenever he plays for the Yankees, too? That guy's the president of the Yankees, too, if he wanted to be. You know what I mean? Like,
guy's a robot. He fucking stinks, too. Tell him to kick rocks with Graziano.
Easy, Ty. He just got on quarantine.
Wow, there's some displaced. Hey, Ty, you've got some displaced anger inside there, bub.
No.
Hey, I'm on your side.
Right to the source.
He hates Russell Wilson. He's a big Yankees fan. So anytime Yankees, put a hat on Russell and let him do some training or spring training and everything, Ty gets so upset about it. I mean, very, very.
Where's he from?
Iowa.
Is he from Wisconsin?
No, he's from Iowa.
No.
How are you a Yankees fan from Iowa?
My grandma came over through Ellis Island. I've been in New York, so.
Never heard of it?
Season ticket holder as a young child, she was.
Bronx Bombers, dude.
Been in the family for a long time.
Have a little respect for the Yankees, man. He's dead.
Your grandma came over where? I got you back.
Ellis Island.
Okay, and that she was a Yankee fan, so I can appreciate.
Oh yeah, he just made you feel terrible
the
with the
nostalgia
grandma.
of the family there. Hopefully at some point you make your own decisions in life.
Ladies and gentlemen, future Monday Night Football commentator, electric individual, former NFL quarterback, now face of ESPN. You can see him every morning on Get Up, Dan Orlovsky. Thank you, Dan. Dan, we appreciate you, buddy. You were great.
Later, buddy. Hey, Pat, last thing. I love you, man.
Hey, man. I love you too, dude.
Yes!
I love you too.
Got you
man.
to say it.
Yeah.
Later, AJ. I love you too, bro.
Hey, love you, Dan. Good job.
AJ said it.
Whoa, AJ Hawk.
I've known
AJ Hawk. AJ Hawk. All right, see you guys. Got to call AJ back, right?
Yeah. Boy, Dan had time today, huh?
Yeah.
He didn't have internet, but he had time.
Heaters.
Hey, what was up with his internet? Is that our fault or their fault?
That's what the $1 million idea I have is to find out whose fault it is. But we saw AJ perfectly the whole time.
And that was the same face.
Yep.
AJ,
Yeah.
how about that guy's internet just being trash? What happened there, you think?
How does he have a solid connection to do ESPN?
Every morning he's on ESPN. It's squeaky clean, too. I mean, it's like 7K on ESPN, and then our show, he's just coming in and out. He was dropping some good knowledge right there.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough when you have three of us on there and his connection's going in and out, so he's hearing us 10 seconds later at times. But, yeah, Dan's a smart dude. I love it. What was how he signed off? Told Ty maybe you'll start making some decisions for yourself at some point.
Awesome.
Nah, I mean, that really wasn't that great.
Dan is 1,000% comfortable with who Dan Orlovsky is. Like Dan has fully embraced what Dan Orlovsky is. Dan Orlovsky is the ex-quarterback who's at ESPN, who gives takes from a smart situation. I forget who said it. Somebody in here said it, where Dan Orlovsky is, if you go into the kitchen of ESPN and you create an ESPN pundit, it is Dan Orlovsky. It's like smart, clever, attractive, NFL quarterback. Just Dan Orlovsky is the perfect person for television. He really is. And some people hate him, which, by the way, you're supposed to. Like that's like a part of the whole thing.
I like that when he say he listed his top 5 quarterbacks in the NFC. He's not scared to have conversations about it. Like he doesn't just willy-nilly throw that up. He has facts to back it up, or his theory behind why he ranks each person at the number that he puts them. So yeah, it's cool that he actually has stuff. Whether you agree or not, at least he's willing to back it up and go into depth on it.
He had Cam Newton at 45.
Did he say he's at 45? He said worst case scenario, he's in the top 45.
But still, it's still saying I can name 44 people that are better than. I mean, saying top 45 was a wild statement. I was like, top 45, Dan. I love Dan Orlovsky. I do.
Yeah, he's good. Daniel, he spent so much time in the NFL as a backup. I've listened to Dan talk about why backups can become great coaches, and like he says, he's coaching on TV because they have to know everything. They got to know every receiver's route. They got to go smooth things over on the sideline. If a guy doesn't think he's getting enough balls, like they got to really take care of that starter, and Dan's done that forever. And as you said that, I actually have a TV screen in here on mute, and Dan popped up. I think it must be a replay from this morning.
4K, does it look good too?
It looks perfect, and he's wearing like a sport coat, so I don't know what
two
that
of them.
says.
He had 2 jackets on this morning.
Looks crystal clear. Great connection.
Let's go to the comment section and hear what they think about Dan Orlovsky. Adam S. says, I hate him. Okay, Adam S. You're supposed to, Adam S. Let's go to Alex Troff. He says, NFL QB is debatable. No, he was. He was a long-time quarterback.
For like 11 or 12 years, yeah.
He won game. He made our terrible Colts team better whenever he came. Now, everybody remembers that he was obviously with the Lions during very hard times. He ran out of the back of the end zone away from Jared Allen, which is obviously a mistake, but we've all made mistakes. Just haven't gotten glorified to the point that he is. He was a good quarterback for the Colts whenever he came, and good leader, too. I thought he was going to get paid because we were bad, and turns out he did not.
You see Mr. Anorak?
Anorak. I do not see Anorak.
His Wi-Fi's dropping like Aguilar's dropping passes.
Oh, I get it. Aguilar, though, couldn't have caught that baby that one guy caught. Welcome back. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, you know why he's smart though, Pat? I didn't tell him, but he's always keeping it out there that I want to coach at some point, but I also want to climb to the highest ranks of this TV gig, so you leverage them off each other.
That's like John Gruden.
Oh, yeah.
Every year, John Gruden, it would get leaked that some team was going to pay him $10 million a year, and he would renegotiate his Monday Night Football contract to make $7, $8 million a year, $9 million a year. And then finally, the Raiders like, we'll actually pay you that $10 million a year you've been making up for the last 10 years. Like, deal, fuck it. I'll take $10 million for $100 million or $10 million for 10 years. That's smart business to do that.
I think it makes them more valuable to the networks they work for. Look at Louis Riddick, who works for ESPN, does a great job, I think. Louis is always in talks to take over Monday night as well. I know he's on the countdown or the halftime show, but Louis is interviewing for GM jobs every offseason, it seems like.
Are they really, or are they just saying they are so they look more important on television? I might start saying that somebody reach out to me for general manager.
Well, I mean, Louis actually sat and interviewed for at least a couple of GM jobs, I know.
Me too.
Yeah, so, I mean, why not? Why don't you throw it out there?
Didn't you? You and I
over Zoom. Yeah, we did over Zoom. We both interviewed for multiple jobs.
AJ Hawk, Pat McAfee, general manager candidates, only doing sports talk now on YouTube. Excited to be here with you. We had our interviews for both head coaching gigs around college football, general manager around the NFL. We've decided that doing this show is better than both of those things, and we'll continue to do so. That's an official statement from McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk.
I concur. I co-sign on that statement.
Retweet.
AJ, if you were actually to become a GM of a team, what would be your first edict?
Oh man, there'd be so many of them. Well, if you're the GM though, I think your job is to stay out of like the day-to-day team activity. You're taking care of the roster and the personnel, I believe. So
what is edict?
I don't know, man. I want to hire a good head coach. That's my first job if I'm a GM.
Do you know what edict means?
I couldn't define it for you, no.
Me neither. I mean, I tried to use context clues, but his sentence was so short there. I'm not 100%. Is that like your motto?
No, just like I don't know the exact definition.
The culture you want to start to put in place.
Your mandate, your goal, your order.
That clears it up.
I thought it was going to be to give everyone giant-sized novelty shoulder pads.
Yeah, exactly. Make them a little bit tougher.
No, if I saw a guy wearing those shoulder pads, I'd cut him immediately.
What if he had weak chin, no cakes, and duck-footed?
He wouldn't be on the roster, Pat. You know that. You see any athletes doing that?
That did not get reported, by the way, by all those people from our conversation with Aaron Rodgers. Nobody talked about the statement, the life motto that came out of that entire interview. It never got reported on, but I think it was just as important. If somebody, go ahead.
You know, it's something that they glossed over, which the only thing that upset me is that they didn't give Picasso any pub from that talk with Aaron.
Does Aaron Rodgers read the responses to all this stuff, you think?
I doubt it.
There were so many people that were like, fuck Aaron. I wish he would have stayed in Peru. Oh, he had a private plane, blah, blah. What? This is Aaron's
fault? You should have brought people back. You should have brought a lot of coronavirus victims back that already had it and really incubated over that 15-hour flight and brought them to America.
Everybody get in my plane. If you have coronavirus, please get closer to me. What did these people want Aaron to do? Everybody's like, oh, he should have taken care of the poor people that are in Peru. What poor people are taking a vacation to Peru? Answer, none of them. I'll tell you that. It's not just something that a truck driver dad is taking his kids to. Hey, let's take a vacation to Peru in the middle of the school year. That's like, what do they want Aaron Rodgers to do, these people? If I was
you can't win. You can't win if you're in that spot.
Legitimately, you can't win. NFL Network sent us an email asking if they could use the clip or whatever. And I had to forward. There's the only people that asked us if they could use it or whatever, which, by the way, very nice of them. I assume they're just going to run our high-quality video that Zito, Foxy, Ty, Connor, and the boys have put together here. Which, by the way, congrats to you boys getting your stuff on big cable television. Way to go, boys. But they sent it to me, and they had the entire script out of how they were going to word it and everything. And they did the entire part about him flying private and everything. I was like, should I respond and tell him not to do that? I had to forward it to AJ. I was like, you think this is okay if we let him do it? And AJ was like, I don't care. I was like,
I didn't know that was the exact script of how they were going to run it.
Yeah, it was in that email. I sent it to you.
I glossed over. I thought it was just like, hey, is it cool if we talk about what you guys talked about?
Glossed over.
I mean, if other people already picked it up, that'd be cool. That's nice of them to reach out and ask permission, but technically they don't have to ask permission, do they?
Do you think? I don't know. Do they? We just give courtesy to people on our show. Courtesy of. We think that is the standard.
Yeah, that's pretty much what most people do.
There was no courtesy of McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk for all those places, though, and I wasn't happy, but you weren't. You didn't mind.
Well, there's a sign directly over your right shoulder that says the Pat McAfee Show, so I could understand a little bit of confusion, and it's on the Pat McAfee YouTube channel.
This is the @EOW. Do you see?
Well, it is
The what?
he sees the whole thing. So
Yeah, on the screen it only says @EOW.
there it is.
Oh, I can see. See, I can't see what the YouTube viewers can see. I just see you normally.
Let's go to the YouTube comment sections. AJ, is A-Rod a good leader? Seen multiple articles saying the locker room isn't behind him. So ask Ray Perez.
Yeah, Aaron's a great leader, and I think it's like some narrative that's been going on for a while.
Legit.
I feel like
Why?
it doesn't.
Why?
What'd you say?
Why though? It seems like it kind of started early. I think his relationship with the media is potentially it's like almost like Jay Cutler's relationship with the media, right? Jay Cutler and the media did not get along. That's why they showed Jay Cutler at his worst. And when he was worse, he was must-see television. I mean, when he was upset, pouting, smoking, Jay became, must-see television. But every quarterback had those moments of frustration on the sideline, and they only chose to show Jay Cutler's moments because I think he didn't have a great relationship with the media. It feels like Aaron doesn't have the greatest relationship with the media. I think everybody respects him, but you don't see him doing a lot of interviews or palling around a lot with the media people. And I think there's a chance that whenever some people can get a chance to kind of spin a narrative, they almost want to do that because Aaron isn't one of their guys. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think there's something to that. He's not super available to the media. I mean, he does everything that they make him. Obviously, you have to do a certain amount when you're in season for an NFL team. But, yeah, I mean, I think you're right. Maybe it's just that people want him to open up more or let him in more. And for good reason, he may be guarded a little bit with the media. I mean, I think Aaron's dream is to do interviews and never talk about football. Like, that would be history. These weird, smart people like him, like, he wants to talk about everything else going on in the world. He doesn't want to sit down and have a 30-minute conversation about the ins and outs of what's going on in the game.
He wanted to talk about how you watch WWE videos all the time. I didn't know you did that.
Well, I go through, there's phases we go through. We got kids, you try to keep them entertained. In the morning, they're eating. Scroll through YouTube, try to find some good stuff. Yeah, and so they were big into watching like Hulk Hogan's old entrances back in the day with his music and Ric Flair. I was trying to show them like what real strongman looked like. Yeah, we show them I think we showed them your Pelicans intro thing you did a couple weeks back, a month ago. It seems like 10 years ago now, but they love that. Anything that's like over the top and fun. I haven't watched as many WWE clips as of late, but when Aaron was in town a few times, that was still going on.
Over the top, huh? I thought I just did a pretty standard intro there. I started out too hot, by the way. I watched a video this weekend, because I had hit rock bottom on all the things, and I didn't watch Ozark Season 2. So Ozark Season 3 release didn't really get me going because I didn't know what the hell was going on. I still have to go back and catch up. I got kind of bored in Ozark Season 1, to be honest with you. But if everybody says they like it, it must be something. But I did not. So I kind of hit rock bottom there, so I was going back through some old videos. and I watched that intro. And to be honest, I got up too quick. I got too excited too quick. But what do you want me to do when Zion's number 3? You know what I mean? I wish I could have led that thing up and really took people for a ride. But Zion at 3, you kind of got to ride the wave and then back down, and we're back up again.
No, I think you did a great job. It reminded me of, are you old enough to remember when the Bulls used to play and they would show the intro? They turn all the lights out, the spotlights circling the stadium, and then Jordan's announced the last. Like that dude, I don't know what his name is. I'm sorry for that guy. That gentleman was great at announcing the starting 5 for the Bulls when they were in their prime.
Well, Zito's from Chicago. He's a diehard
Big
Bulls
fan.
fan.
Big
Loves
fan.
Michael
You
Jordan.
would know.
What was that guy's name, Zito, who did all those introductions?
It was Ray Clay, obviously.
His internet's faster than Orlovsky's, obviously. Pretty happy for
Hey,
him.
you talked about Jay Cutler. Did you see the clip of him that went around on the internet this weekend?
No.
It was him breaking a huddle, walking up to the line of scrimmage, and the sky cam's shooting over his head.
Yeah.
And the mic picks him up, and all you hear is him turn to the side. You can't tell who he's talking to. Tell him I said, fuck you.
I love that.
It's good.
See,
I
these
saw
are
it. It's great.
I love Jay Cutler. Like that, even back whenever they showed all his bad moments, like when they only showed bad Jay Cutler. It was like that game where he got hurt, where he needed surgery or whatever, but he chose to stand on the sideline. And they were like, oh, look at Jay Cutler. He doesn't even care about his team. He's just standing over there in the playoffs. Next day it comes out like, oh, he needs to replace his entire leg, actually. It's like, oh, maybe he's a little tight. They tried to make Jay Cutler look bad. Like, legitimately, I think a lot of people were trying to make Jay Cutler look bad. And I think I just enjoyed that so much. Like, I enjoyed whatever he did to set this up for them only to show his bad stuff. Like, I enjoyed it. So I was always a big Jay Cutler fan, but that makes me even more. Tell him I said, fuck him. That's awesome.
Oh, it's a great clip. I think you'll love it. I mean, put against Jay Cutler forever, twice a year for a long time. I always respected Jay because he's authentic. He's who he is. Like, Jay doesn't seem like he's putting on a front, and I'm sure that's why he may get some criticism because of his body language and facial expressions, but that's Jay. Like, that's why he became a star on that reality show he has with his wife. Like, I don't watch the show, but I watch clips online because people post everything about it because Jay is a superstar on there.
Diggs loves it. He loves that type of TV. It's his birthday, too. Happy birthday, Diggs.
Happy birthday, Tony.
It's the only reality show I'll watch because of Jay.
Happy boy, Diggs. Diggs is a big fan of his.
Happy birthday, Diggs.
Thank you, AJ.
Ty, glad you're back. Good to see you in decent health.
Hey, by the way, he just started firing at Orlovsky first day back. He's got a lot of pent-up quarantine in him.
Wanted to get it in the mud.
Your 2-day quarantine got you, Ty?
Hey, it was
got you crazy?
No, it was a full week. And when you're used to being here until like 7 p.m., working, I tell you what, that noon after that, it's tough getting through the rest of the day.
It's good to see you're in good health, though, man. You look great. Pat tells me you're. It might be a facade. You may not be as healthy underneath that skin as you show, like to all of us. But you know what? I have faith in you.
Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciated your well wishes, AJ. Thank you.
This is really nice. I'm happy that could happen right there.
Dan told you he loved you, and you told him you loved him back.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you do there? You can't not say it.
You say thank you and hang up?
I don't have the power to hang up. It's over there with Zito. Zito hung up on both you already.
No, you did the right thing.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, you have to reciprocate that.
You're spreading positivity. Would you say that, like, did that ever happen in your life when you were a little kid, or someone ever tell you they love you and you said thank you?
Yep.
It's Connor. It's Connor. You know, not a
Hopefully
lot of
it
people.
wasn't one of your parents.
AJ, not a lot of people told me they love me. You know what I mean?
I don't believe that.
I was very
How's
hard.
your wedding coming along?
Oh, don't even talk about it. So she got her dress in the mail today, and I guess it just got drenched because FedEx left it outside last night.
Oh, my God.
Somehow it goes from bad to worse with this whole thing. Now, granted, I can't see it, right? And I can't, like, give her... She calls me this morning, like, an hour before we go live on the radio show. FaceTime. Doesn't normally happen. She's bawling her eyes out. I'm like... I'm running through my head what could have potentially happened, especially in the state that we're in right now. There was like 75 different potential outcomes of what was going on because these are real tears, right? I'm like, oh my God, here we go. I'm like, what's going on? And she goes, my dress just got here. And she shows the box, and it's just a shredded piece of cardboard. Just drowsy. Like, oh no. Oh no. So not only do we have a worldwide pandemic and potentially being locked out of the island that we're supposed to get married in and all this stuff, now her wedding dress is just, it's drenched, I guess, because FedEx can't fucking do shit right. I was supposed to say that.
You were supposed to? Why?
Sam, we are not happy with FedEx with what they did with the dress.
So you're strictly UPS now?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to do FedEx ever again for what they did to her dress. Are you kidding me? My fiance, you're just going to do that to? I will only ship with the fucking what can Brown do for you, pal. I won't dip back into those purple waters ever again. You keep all those subliminal messages with your little forward arrows on the FedEx thing to yourself. Keep the dress dry and maybe I'll come back to you again.
Yeah.
You're not going to disrespect my fiance and her dream wedding date. FedEx, you stupid idiots.
Stupid.
So I think you're allowed to see the dress. You're just not supposed to see her in the dress.
I don't know the rules. I'm not ruining the wedding because you said you thought something.
But you're not ruining the wedding, but the virus may ruin the wedding.
Come on.
Come on, dude. She just had her dress get
Not
absolutely
ruin it,
drenched.
but it just may have to change locations.
Oh, are you telling her that?
No, I'm not telling her that.
Sounds like you just tried to tell
If
her
she
that.
asks me or she's watching this, I think it's full steam ahead. It's going to happen on time in the original
Are
location.
we having the wedding at AJ Hawk Manor?
Oh, can we have it at your villa?
The estate?
Yeah, we could do it. Do you Are you allowed to kiss her when we say kiss the bride, or do you wave at her, elbow? What do you do?
I French kiss my lady.
You French kiss on a wedding kiss? You can. I guess everyone can. They're really into each other.
Pagano, the French kiss.
Oh, you're talking about because the social distancing.
But you've been living with her, so I guess just all the guests of your wedding will just be spaced apart.
So you know, like the WWE Performance Center, they're going full speed ahead with shows right now, right? I guess to get in though, you got to go through a medical test to get in, right? Like some wrestlers have been sent home because they haven't passed the test to get into the facility. It's like every day you go there, like you're good. So you go back to your apartment or your house or your hotel, wherever you're staying. Then you come back and then you get some sort of test. I don't think it's a COVID-19 test because they can't have that. Probably,
Temperature. I bet they take their temperature.
yeah, it's probably a temperature test or something like that. And if you're up at all, you're out, gone, see you later, don't come in. That's what you're going to have to set up for my wedding at your house.
Okay, I can do that. Let me know. I got a couple months to work on this. I'll figure it out.
I saw him spraying off his porch yesterday. AJ was spraying off his porch. Had a big. You had a big thing on your hose there. It was
A fire truck?
yeah, it was like fire truck hose.
Yeah, I had a nice big extension. You FaceTime me while I was out spraying some birds' nests. They were taking dumps all over my front porch, so I sprayed them down for about 30 minutes last night, and you gave me a call.
And by the way, he just had a bunch of randoms showing up at his house, hugging him on the way in and way out.
Jeez.
I mean, social dispensing doesn't exist in the Hawk house.
Big hose hawk.
Oh,
hugging
big
everybody.
hose Hawk, come on in for the real thing. Spit in my mouth.
Spit in my mouth. Why would I ever think it would spit in my mouth?
That's what it was like, dude. I was on a FaceTime with you. 7 people drove by. He's
No,
got.
you saw. Okay, first off, no. Stop with your stories. You saw Chopper, my father-in-law, leave and get on his Harley and take off.
Chopper was awesome, dude. Chopper Bopper, his father-in-law, walks out of the house, and I'm FaceTiming with him. He goes, what? AJ goes, what? All right, see you later, man. And I'm like, who's that? He's like, Chopper's leaving right now. And he flips the camera around. I see Chopper hopping on a Harley. It was like the most. I'm like, fucking Chopper Bopper's riding out here on his hog. He's like, yeah, but then starts it up. Boom, he's gone. So we get back to the FaceTime again. And I'm reading off all these places that won't give him any credit and anything. And he's like, I don't care, Pat. I don't care. And then he's like, oh, pull around to the outside. I'm like, who's at your house now? Some lady just got here. So then he walks over, hugs the lady, basically kisses her on the forehead, grabs the thing she was delivering, tells her to leave, and then see you later. And then put that on repeat for another 20 minutes. That's how we talked.
Can't do that.
Can't do it, AJ. We can't die. You can't have you dying when this show is just starting to take off.
I appreciate your concern. I did not. Once again, you exaggerate these stories. That's why you and Bert are so close. You and Bert like to really sell the stories. Bert explains that, how he likes to make it bigger, make it better. It'd always be better coming from his mouth. But no, I did not hug the lady. Nice lady who I didn't know, dropped off food, didn't touch her, grabbed the bag of food, set it inside.
I was screaming on the phone while he was going up to meet him. Stay away from him!
Absolutely, yeah. You definitely scared that girl.
Gotta have a show, lady. Learn what social distancing is. Stop being, rude. Let's go back to the YouTube comments section. Caden Volbrick says they should get on Spotify. I think we are. It's the Pat Mac Show 2.0, though. Oh, yeah, by the way, we've been using it as a podcast. I think you know that, though, right? I think you've known that at this point, yeah?
Yes. Of course.
Hey, you're doing great, though. The podcast is doing well. People love it.
So can we get Chopper and Pistol on the show?
Oh, gosh. Now, Pistol, you may be able to nail. They just opened golf courses again in Ohio. They closed them. They opened them. They closed them. They opened them again. So it'll be tough to get Pistol nailed down. Chopper, when it comes to technology, if you try to explain what we're doing here, good luck. It's not going to get through.
Oh, Chopper?
Yeah.
Chopper's a legend. That bike he hopped on, he had a big back wheel on it. I mean, it was that thing was no helmet, obviously.
Oh, he hit a wheelie?
Oh,
No,
he's a wild hog.
Yeah, he's Chopper Bopper. Pistol, we didn't even know we could book him, one of the best sales executives in the history of Ohio.
That'd be
Didn't even
tough.
know that was possible. Here's a question from Germany. Super SETI says, YouTube questions. Watching from Germany, send you some love, boys. Well, I don't know how Germany works. That's not a question. Okay, so if we're going to do this, let's at least put a question mark at the end of that thing. Are YouTube comments allowed to attend the wedding virtually as Dynamite Laser?
Ooh, live stream?
Yeah, won't you? Don't you think you may stream it?
We have thought about this.
How does she feel? Your lady.
I'd assume she's again. I don't know, actually, to be honest with you. Now that the dress has been ruined, I mean, like everything.
Time to buy in.
I mean, everything has been this poor girl. I mean, honestly, I assume that the wedding. Now, I've been dreaming about my wedding day since I was a child, since I was just a little baby boomstick boy. Okay, I'm like, my wedding day is going to be perfect. But I don't think my dreams of my wedding, which were obviously every single day I thought about, until Nick, you remember those days back whenever I would talk in college
All the time.
about
How grand it would be.
the wedding is just going to be this great romantic. I've thought about the wedding, obviously. Very long, extensive parts of my life have been surrounded around thinking about how good the wedding can be and should be. Obviously, these are my dreams. But hers, you know, she's put it a little bit more into the dreams and thoughts and preparation and planning. And then a worldwide pandemic happens, and then FedEx comes in and just bitch slaps your dress. I mean, there's just her. I feel so bad for Sam. I honestly feel terrible for Sam at this moment. I do. I feel absolutely terrible.
T's and P's.
T's and P's for Sam's emotions, while the romance of this wedding thing is just getting blindsided by things that she can't control.
It's tough. Yeah, she's dealing with some adversity. But you know what? I guess once you are finally married and it's official, it'll make it that much better, like how you guys had to fight through and figure it out.
We will survive. We will survive. Hey, hey.
Hit the road, Jack.
Take it, Z.
I get confused with those two songs.
First, I was afraid.
Hey, did people have to sing in your training camp team meetings?
Well, one of the first things McCarthy said, I got there the same year McCarthy, his first year in Green Bay, and he said, like, we're not going to do any rookie hazing. Like, we don't do anything like that. But I think they eventually, guys got up and sang. I don't think I had to sing, but yeah, guys eventually would get up and sing sometimes.
You didn't. You just got out of it. You just said, "I'm AJ Hawk. I don't do that."
I was lucky. My rookie year was McCarthy's rookie year as a head coach, and he's like, we're not doing any of that hazing garbage. So I don't think I had to.
I don't really think that's hazing having them sing, is it? I mean,
It's not. That's why I think they eventually started doing it a little bit, but it didn't happen in McCarthy's first year. So I'm very glad. Did you have to sing?
I had to sing West Virginia's fight song, and then it kind of, in a very favorable fashion, kind of turned into people singing actual songs as opposed to their alma mater's fight song, because that was just terrible, you know, because nobody knows the fight song unless you went to the school and were forced to know the fight song, you know? So there's no sing-alongs. Whenever the songs came through, I was a big fan of that move. I forget what year it was, but boy, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, baby. Soon as that hit, that's all. If you were... We would have rookie kickers and punters or whatever that could potentially get called up to sing. And I go, it's very easy. Very, very easy. Okay? You just go, ain't no mountain high, with just a little bit of energy, and then everybody will sing the song for you. You don't have to do anything. Some of those people go up there and they'd be like, all right, this is a song I used to sing back in the day, and they would like think they were actual singers, and they go real slow. And oh my God, watching an entire NFL team turn on one human is just tough to watch. Robert Mathis would have pieces of paper from the back of the room come flying down, hitting guy in the head with his eyes closed while he's singing. I mean, those were tough moments for guys. So I guess it is hazing. I guess it is. Now that I think about it, I guess it is.
If you choose the wrong song, it turns into hazing, though. But you're 100% right. It's almost like karaoke. Sing the hits, sing something with a good hook, and the whole room will get involved, and you won't have to sing after the first verse.
That's all you got to do. You're just up there as a maestro at that point if you just bring a little bit of energy. I had one guy didn't listen to me. He went up there, thought he was going to sing a song because he was a good singer. Got booed out of the fucking camp. Guy got cut the next day. See you later, pal. I tried, man. Just ain't no mountain high. Ain't no valley low.
Did they ever bring in like guest speakers that had to speak to your whole team? I think each team was mandated. You had to bring in like people to talk about like off the field issues. And whenever that would happen, every once in a while you get a dud who comes in there and doesn't realize how difficult this room is, and they get clapped off the stage.
By the way, I think the reason why I am not very scared to do stand-up comedy or speak in front of anybody, if you can speak in front of an NFL locker room or an NFL team, I think you're set up forever. It is not an easy thing to do, honestly.
Think about how difficult it is. All these guys are trained on how to sniff out garbage and people that aren't real and aren't authentic and aren't like they're trying to play a role, like a tough guy role.
Yeah.
And so if you got to, whatever you are as a head coach, it's always smart. Just be authentic. If you're a huge dick, just be a dick. If you're a player's coach, let them know, like, this is what it's going to be, and you got to find a way to hold guys accountable. But whatever it is, like, they're going to see through it if you're not who you really are.
And then those outside speakers come in, and they might be successful, but they don't have as much money as about, I don't know, 3/4 of the room. So you're not as successful as 3/4 of the room feels.
And they're used to speaking to sales professionals and people that are sit there buttoned up and would never make – they'd sit through a 5-hour speech and wouldn't make a peep. But if this guy flubs a word or he's boring for 2 minutes, they're going to clap it. They're going to start clapping. Act like he's done. He's like, what? I got 48 minutes left. What are we doing?
It's like the music playing them off the stage. It literally is like an Academy Award. Like,
didn't that make you feel very like? So I loved when a guy would sing and it would go terrible and the room would turn. When the room would turn on somebody like a guest speaker who their only interaction with this team is going to be this moment, and when they would get clapped off, like my face would get warm. I would try to crawl under my seat almost. I would secretly love it at the same time because the guy was terrible. But I was really embarrassed and wanted to get out of that room.
Bro, that D-line, when the D-line, if it just so happened to be a Caucasian speaker and he came just a little bit soft early, right, and they couldn't hear him in the back, oh, my God. What was that? In the middle of this guy's prepared. What was that? And then the guy starts, oh, I'm sorry, can you not hear me in the back? I'll speak up a little bit. I'm like, oh, no, this is not good. And then let him get to a part of the thing where his slide or whatever is not matching up with his words. Oh, my God, those were the best. Those were the best. I used to look forward to those days. Now everybody hated them, obviously, because you got a long day. Then this person's talking at the end of it. But I used to look forward to it so much. I'm like, good luck to this fucking guy. He's got no hope.
The key was if the person had enough awareness to sense that they were losing the room, they know I cannot pause for a half a second. There's no punctuations in the rest of this presentation. Because if I pause, someone's going to clap, and it's going to catch on, and I'm going to be out of here.
All right, good job, man. That's literally that right there, what you just happened.
They're so confused. They're like, well,
Any questions? Any questions?
Yeah, any questions? And then nobody raises their hand. No, get out of here, man. It's our off day. Get out of here.
Oh, my God.
And then what makes guys even more upset on the team is if a guy comes in, he bombs, and you find out that the team paid him $25K or something for that call. Yeah. People are like, are you kidding me? And you don't want to give me a workout bonus?
We had a guy come in and do well. We had a Navy SEAL come in and do well. He's a bigger guy. I'm sure you heard him talk before. He was doing the rounds, I think.
Who?
He was a big tribe guy. Know your why. I forget his name.
Robert O'Neill?
He shot Bin Laden.
Yeah.
No, not McHuya. It's this bigger guy. He's a bigger guy. He was a Navy SEAL. He's a bigger guy.
Marcus Luttrell?
Nope, not the lone survivor. It was another guy. He came and gave a speech. Pretty good. Country boy, though. Looked like a 3 technique. He was and he was a Navy SEAL, right? So that was, I think a lot of the people were just intrigued on our team were just intrigued about how this big ass dude survived buds. Like that was all the questions were like, how did you, at your weight, like a lot of big guys were like, how did you get through? Because he was a bigger guy, he was like, well, it was kind of difficult, I got to do it. He did a good speech. And also E.T., the hip hop preacher, you know who that is?
No.
Oh, this guy.
Eric Thomas.
Yeah. Eric Thomas came in and spoke. He stole the show. I mean, the room loved him. Yeah, the room.
He's perfect for that setting. I've been in, I think, our defensive room. They played a few clips of his speeches because he's high energy. He's over the top. Like he's not tiptoeing in. Like he's all in. Whether you like it or not, he's all in on that speech.
He said, we used to record things, blah, blah, blah. Now we're doing voiceovers for ESPN. And he looks at the one guy that was recording in the background. He's like, where are we recording those voiceovers at? And one of the guys holding his camera pokes his head out and goes, in the basement. He goes back. He goes, in the basement. Like it was just like me and Vinatieri were absolutely loving. I mean, those were magical moments. I'm happy we just took a little trip down memory lane there. The one guy, I forget his name.
Brett Gleason?
Maybe. What's he like? Obviously, he's a Navy SEAL. Does he have a beard?
I'll pull up the photo in a second for you.
Yeah, pull up the photo. I think that could be him. He was very good. That guy was and E.T. was very good. Some of those people went in there, though, in big old whiffs. I mean, big old whiffs.
We had this dude, Frank something. I don't know why I'm forgetting it. He lost the room early, and he was a Fox News contributor who did a lot of polling numbers during the elections, and he put up a bunch of. First off, you probably shouldn't have a PowerPoint deck if you're going to come speak to an NFL team. If you do, just have a couple pictures. Maybe don't put any text on it. This dude was putting up graphs and numbers and showing like how to deal with the media and what you should do and how you talk to the media. But it was
hold on. It was the guy that ran those focus groups.
Yeah.
Frank Luntz.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That was awesome.
He got clapped out about 25 in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he gave it a go for us, too, in training camp. He gave it a go,
Is this him right here?
No, that was not the guy. Everybody in the comments says it's Jocko. I feel like they're
Jocko's a thick dude. Jocko's not tall, though.
This guy might not have been tall. I was sitting down.
Jocko Willink, was Jocko doing that back then? I mean, Jocko's really hit the scene the last 3 or 4 years. I know that.
Maybe we caught him beforehand, Maybe we caught him before he got big. He was good, though.
This guy's massive.
He had cowboy boots on. I mean, this dude.
Oh, this guy's a cowboy boots guy.
Played no games when he was talking. He was a bigger guy, so all the dudes were like, this guy's awesome.
I think it's him.
No.
Who is it?
Huh?
That was not him. That was not him.
That's Jocko.
I don't know who Jocko is. I've never seen Jocko.
Ooh.
That guy does not have a weak chin, though. That guy has an A.J. Hawk chin. That dude was a Navy SEAL for us. Imagine dropping his ass into enemy territory and being like, we're coming.
Just listen to some of his podcasts, Pat. Listen to anything Jocko does now. He doesn't mess around.
Looks like Kane.
Takes a picture of his watch every morning, like at 4:45, when he gets up and works out.
He was the guy that told me to make my bed in the morning. Is that him?
No, that's another. That's like a Master Chief or some guy. I've seen him at a commencement speech one time. The make your bed guy.
Where's Ninja Tom or whatever his name was? Master Jake. What was the guy's
Master
name?
Phil?
Master Phil.
Ninja Tom.
Who?
You ever see the knife commercial? Where?
Did you see me lose my mind to that knife commercial that one day?
No.
Thanks for following the product.
You're welcome. What happened?
A few 100,000 views.
What was it?
What?
How many views?
Just a few 100,000, maybe a million.
Well, I mean, a few 100,000, and you don't know who Jocko is. Like Jocko's gigantic right now.
Listen, I got my blinders on. Okay, Jocko. If he comes into my life, he'll make it better. Obviously.
Wait, what was that accent or that speech impediment you threw on when you said blinders?
Speech impediment?
We're just gonna move.
Threw
past
like
it.
a lisp in there for some reason.
No, that's just an
Vernacular.
impersonation of a guy.
Yeah, who are you impersonating? That's my question.
That's head coach Chuck Pagano.
That's what I thought.
Did you ever play for Chuck?
I never did. I've only heard good things though.
He's a legend. He is electric and a legend as well. But he always had these. By the way, his stand-up bits for the team, he did full stand-up up there every morning. He knew how hard it was to get up there and have to speak to the team, and he expected it every morning. He's a defensive guy, right? Let's say the hardest crowd is the defensive side of the ball.
Always.
It's the hardest crowd is the defensive side of the ball. So Chuck comes through the secondary, and he was a DB coach and a defense coordinator. So he spoke in front of defense, and then when he became a head coach, obviously you got to speak in front of the team every single day. He brought it. He might not have been able to win every single game, and he might have made some questionable decisions that people are like, why'd he do that? Chuck Pagano in those team meetings brought it every single day, and I appreciate it. I mean, we had a new story. Did I ever tell you a story about? I mean, this guy was amazing. He was absolutely. He'll get paid money to speak someday, I think, in a hilarious fashion to corporate businesses. It was good.
He should be doing some of that already. Once things open up a little bit in the country, they can make big money. Because all these coaches, if you're a lifetime coach, they have thousands of stories that everyone would love to hear, like behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, he was defense coordinator for Ray Lewis and them, Ed Reed and them. Imagine. Ray Lewis told me one day that these boys don't listen to this type of stuff, so I had to change my game plan. I started listening to hip hop, R&B, rap. Had to get to the lingo. You ever heard of Young Jeezy?
I hope you're joking.
No, he never told me that. But Chuck Pagano is the best. I think he would. Let's get one more question in here before we get the hell out of here. Pat, who's your favorite lineman of all time? A.Q. Shipley. How about you, AJ? Who's your favorite lineman of all time?
It's possible that I think you had him on earlier today, Josh Sitton.
He said you were diabolical.
How? In what context did he say that?
He said AJ's diabolical, and I moved forward so nobody would start questioning him.
I'm okay. I mean, I'm fine with that. I take it as a compliment.
He's awesome.
Sitton's the man. Like, he came in day one, and he was sitting like his same attitude. He will not scared to question things, and he's an absolute monster on the field. Like, Sitton is good to have on a football team.
I liked him a lot. He's good to have as a show guest.
That chair.
He was sitting in a chair today that your wife designed his whole house. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
The chair was a go. I would like to heads up on that chair where she's
a big dude. She knew you got to get some oversized things for Josh down there in Florida.
You know, he lost 48 pounds since last year or something like that.
He cut his hair. It looks completely different too.
Well, he also, lived a lifestyle of healthy and fitness. Maybe you should compliment that instead of just a haircut saying that's why he looks skinnier.
He looks. I didn't know he lost 48 pounds.
You don't watch.
I don't see that. I don't see weight. I don't see race. I don't see anything. Friends. I just see a friend.
Well, obviously you don't care about.
I was at that game that they cheers. They announced it's T.J. Lang and Josh Sitton. I was actually there this past December in Green Bay, and they announced them because I guess they officially retired as Packers, and they called them out before the team, and they snuck beers in their coats, and they cheers and drank them on the field, and people were pissed.
He said the fans weren't. The Packers people were not happy about it.
Yeah, Packers PR people were all over. I remember talking to TJ right after that happened. He's like, dude, I got all the PR people coming to me saying, hey, who gave you that beer and all this stuff? I'm like, they just took a couple cans of beer on the field and drank it. It's at Green Bay. The place, there's a Miller Gate. The baseball stadium is Miller Beer, like it's named after them, and like of course the fans are gonna love it. And it's Josh and TJ, they're known to be like fun, outgoing dudes. I thought it was perfect.
Yeah, I thought so too. I wonder why the Packers people are mad. Is it because the beer got on Lambeau? Is that the biggest deal?
No, I think it's just I don't know. There's just a kind of a buttoned up culture surrounding there, so no one wants to get in trouble.
Nick with 2 Ks says AJ Hawk was a monster man. Missed this guy. One of my favorites to watch.
That's not a question though.
One of my favorites to watch.
Okay, thank you, sir.
This is nice, me getting to have the comment section right here.
Oh yeah,
this is a good idea. We probably should have been doing this a long time ago.
You get the comments.
AJ not taking that credit though. You see that? The way he deflected that credit.
Yeah, that's what he does. That's what AJ does. He gets zero courtesy in any of these big-time journalistic places. He doesn't care. He doesn't do it. He just got complimented and he had to push it off.
Tell me if in these whatever articles where they cut parts of what when we talked to Aaron, if they would have mentioned my name, like let's say, oh, he said this to Pat McAfee on the Pat McAfee show. If they would have said co-hosted by AJ Hawk on McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk, how does that change anything? For me.
Well, at least we get our show out there. I mean, we're trying to build
our show is out there. It got out there.
No, it's not. No, it's not. They said Pat McAfee show. Pat McAfee show already has too much, right? We're at EOW. We're at EOW. We already have too much. McAfee
what is that again? What are you doing? What is that?
Look again.
If you look to the left of your screen there, it cuts off.
I can't see it, Pat.
You're the only one.
EOW. Got it. Now you guys finally, I got the split screen, so I'm seeing what other people are seeing.
Okay, at EOW, right, already has enough. We're trying to build this new show, McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk. We need to get as much traction as possible so people know where the goods come from. and they just refuse to do so.
I got a question. I know it becomes a podcast, but it gets added to other stuff in a podcast. Why don't you keep all of that? You have plenty of content and make this its own podcast.
Business, AJ, business.
Isn't 2 podcasts better than 1?
It depends on who you ask.
You guys know more than me. I'm just. Oh, okay.
Here's a question from.
You gotta go stay with Ty this week.
Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Trying to give me COVID-19.
No, he's clean. He's good.
The commenters want to know if you were ever jealous of Clay Matthews' hair.
Good question.
I say all the time, Clay has awesome hair, like long, full, flowing, like girly hair. It's perfect. I didn't have that.
You took a shot at him there at the end, I think.
Not at all. Clay knows that his hair is legit.
How come you weren't in Pitch Perfect?
Did you say no?
I don't know how I got left off the call sheet after that one. I don't know. That really seems like my personality to get out there and dance and sing.
Yeah, we think so too. That would have made it funny, by the way.
Would it? Sitting was in there.
Sitting was good. Donnie Barclay also in there.
There's some great stories that came from those guys being on set to film that. And if they want to, some of those O linemen that were there, they had some fun interactions with different people on the set that someday they may get to come on here and tell us about.
Fun interaction.
Would you like to tease a little bit more, pal, and let us know maybe who did what?
No, I mean, there's some of the guys you won't even know, but just a bunch of big offensive linemen that are all very close and good friends. Can you imagine them on set with a bunch of smaller Hollywood types think about their interactions 12, 15 hours a day for a few days?
That would have been amazing. That would have been absolutely amazing. Hey, all celebrities are like this big too. They're all just little people. They're all little tiny people.
You mean celebrities or actors in general?
Just most celebrities, just tiny little people.
Yeah, a lot of them are. I mean, they do a good job, I guess, on TV making them look bigger. But I just assume everybody's 5'7".
Me too.
So
is that
I mean,
standard size?
People tell me all the time if they meet me, like, "Oh man, you're a lot smaller than I thought." I'm like, "Yeah, cool."
People think you're smaller. I would assume people would think you were bigger than because you wore those
think
big
people
old
think I'm
pants.
like 6'4" and I'm barely 6 foot.
Oh, you're 5'11". I'm bigger than you.
No, I mean I measured at the combine at 6'1", so but I'm fine either way. You're not gonna like hurt my feelings if you call me 5'10".
I'm 6'1", 248 right now, probably 250.
I'm almost 6'1", about 235.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. That's the end of the show. Hit that thing. That's what I thought. Remember that. Remember that.
Keep it right there. Thumbnail that.
Look good, feel good, play good.
Play good, pay good, live good, die good.